your kids are playing in the playroom together and not fighting, right? It's the time in the car when both of the kids fall asleep in the back and you're like, I am not waking these children to go in the house and destroy my house. So you're sitting in the driveway while they're sleeping behind you and you're texting people, you're hostess coaching, you're posting at events, you're scheduling posts, you're doing whatever, right? Those are your mom cracks of time. So those are the things that you're going to constantly be looking for. Your schedule is going to look different every single day. Okay. You might the night before, you're going to have a running to-do list, right? And it might not all get done the next day, but you're going to put them in the list of priority so that whenever you find a mom crack of time, you're like, okay, you pull up your list and you're like, yes, I've got 5 minutes. I can do this. You're in the middle of a poop and you're like, hell yeah, I can do this, right? You are working at all hours of the day. All right. Sometimes it's after bedtime. Sometimes it's during nap time. Sometimes, again, it is during your morning poop. Okay. Mom cracks of time. Power hours. Okay. Now, a power hour is just an hour of time. This does not mean that it all has to be done in the same hour. Okay. So, power hour consists of four quadrants. Okay. So, 4 15-minute blocks. This could be 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at 11 a.m., 15 minutes in the afternoon, and 15 minutes after bedtime. Or if you have the ability to do it, you can do the entire hour together. Okay. So 15 minutes of 4 different tasks. This could be hostess coaching, scheduling posts and events, booking parties, setting up Post My Party, which I'll talk to you about in just a hot second. Anything that is going to push your business forward. Okay. And there's many different things that you could do with those things, labeling catalogs, like whatever. But make sure that you set a timer so that you're not burning yourself out. So as long as you're touching your business for 15 minutes a day, but better if it's a power hour. Okay. Um, mobile office. Okay. So mobile office, this could be something as simple as just having your connection cards or your Google form so that you can follow up with people, so that you can message them. Your smooze list that Lucy just talked about. Awesome. Bring that with you so that you can schmooze people while you are at your kids' practice. Okay. While you're waiting in the waiting room for a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment, or you're at the hair salon while you're sitting in your foils, right? Anywhere that you have, again, those mom cracks of time. Now, don't be working your business and you're facing your phone while is the actual game or the tournament or whatever of your kids. Okay. Those are the times that your kids actually need you. They want you to be paying attention, but the practices they could give crap about, right? It's the recitals, it's the actual football games, it's state championships that you need to be present for mentally and physically. But if you're sitting there in the bleachers during practice, you should be talking up those other moms that are sitting there with you. You should be making connections and you should be working your mobile office. Um, Organized chaos. That is me. That is my life. Right now, I'm sitting at my kitchen table. My office looks like a bomb exploded because my husband was trying to be helpful and clean and pick up the house while we were on vacation last week. And so he shoved everything in my office, man cleaning. But the rest of the house looked great. So organized chaos, you can do it. But if you need to, just try to organize it in a chaotic way that works for your brain. As Jen Kelly was saying earlier in how to stay organized, my organized chaos just works. Okay. Get your kids involved. So get them labeling your products with the shout with when you're out stickers, or need a refill, give me a call, whatever stickers, labeling your catalogs. Get them to think that they're helping. Like if they're just up your butt and you're trying to do something, then just let them destroy other things so that you can get the one thing done that you need to get done, if that makes sense. If you don't want your kids touching your stuff, or maybe you need extra help outside, that you are willing to give up control for, is get a virtual assistant. Okay. Sometimes they're a little bit expensive. If you have someone that's willing to trade time for product, like if you have one of your clients that is really good with time management or messaging people or techie stuff, but she's broke as a joke, so she can't pay full price for your products, see if she's willing to trade her time for product, so that she can do your birthday messages or she can do other things for you. And then I might get some flack for this, but parenting always comes first. Okay. Like your business will always be there, but your kids will only be little for a little bit of time. Okay. So your parenting will always come first. And I know that's going to be hard. Now, there is a line here. Okay. So like, I know that we're going to World Conference in Atlanta, and I've known that for a year. So if, let's say, it fell on my kid's birthday, I'd be like, cool. Both of those things are important, but I love birthdays. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's not important, but my 6-year-old doesn't know whether or not it's March 6th or it's March 16th. You know what I mean? Like, I can do both. I can do her birthday the weekend before her actual birthday and go to Atlanta. Okay. But if it's like a football tournament and you are booking a party, you can put that party on a different day. You can't move corporate's training. Okay. So think of all of the things in your life as balls. Okay. Not testicles, but like bouncy balls. Okay. Some of these balls that you're juggling are glass, and some of them are bouncy balls. You know which balls on any given day, and they can change material on any given day. You know which balls you can drop and they will bounce, and which balls, if you drop them, they will shatter. Sometimes it's going to be your kids that are glass balls. Okay. Sometimes their mental health is glass and they need you more than your hostess does right now. Okay. And some days it's going to be the other way around. Some days I needed to prep for this class. And honestly, I prepped it at 10:30 this morning when the classes started. Okay. I actually finally wrote it down and got it out of my brain. But sometimes that stuff is going to be glass. And you know that if you don't get it done, you're letting down 150 women. You know what I mean? So you need to know on any given day which tasks and which part of your life are glass balls and which ones are bouncy balls. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to run off some websites that are very, very useful for me. And sorry, I lost my train of thought. All right. So which ones are useful for me? Go ahead and write them down, and I can explain them in depth at the end if we have questions, if we have time for me to go through each individual one. And if we don't, I can also make a post after the fact listing out which one is which, what it's good for, and what it costs if there is a cost. So first one, pirateship.com. Pirate as an R, matey, pirateship.com. This is a shipping website. You're going to grab a $20 shipping scale. All right. And you're going to save yourself time and money on shipping out your orders. Stop standing in line at the post office. You are wasting time and money, and you are stressing yourself out if you're bringing your children with you. Been there, done that. Okay. So Pirate Ship actually saves you a crap ton of money because they apparently, it's like the Costco of shipping. And so they get to give you cheaper shipping. Okay. Postmyparty.com. You can literally make templates of parties. So 1 week out, 2 week out, flash sale, whatever, and have the posts already like lined up in a timeline, if you will. And then when you schedule a party, you're just going to go ahead and beep, boop, beep, boop. This is the date that it starts. Here's the hostess's name. Here's the shopping link, and boom. Here's what I love about it. You can share templates. So let's say that Carol and I told Carol about Post My Party, and she's like, oh, hey, do you have a template that I can use? Here you go. Here's the template. She can go in and change all of the posts to be her stuff, her website, her shopping link, yada, 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 her personality. But that way she has an idea and a template somewhere to start. Okay. Now, Post My Party, I think it's like $15 a month or something like that. Hey, it's a write-off. Also know that I switched from events to groups because you can no longer schedule posts and events. So all my parties are set up in groups. So postmyparty.com. Google Forms. I don't use connection cards anymore. I do, but I don't. I tell them to write on them at the party. But I don't actually like collect them anymore. Google Forms. I have a Google form. I post it in every single party. I have them fill it out. I tell them there's a door prize. I don't actually ever remember to pull the door prize unless someone tells me to. So there you go. Door prize is probably a foil pack or a penis lipstick. Canva, it's an app. You can use the free one. It's still really great. Even if you're absolutely dumb at graphic design, you can do it because apparently I make some beautiful shit and I'm terrible at this. Okay. Project Broadcast. This is the texting service that I use. Thank you, Lucy Heinen, for teaching us about it at our retreat last year. It is way cheaper than Engage and Touch Points, if God forbid anyone is still using that shit show of product. project broadcast, you pay for it monthly. It includes your credits. You choose however many credits you want. You can buy more credits after the fact. You do not get charged for back-to-back texting. So let's say I send out a campaign to my entire team, like, hey, Super Sunday's happening tomorrow, yada, 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 yada. I'm only paying for that initial campaign. So I'm only using 500 credits to send it out to the team. Then when Josie texted me back and it was like, I'll be there. And I'm like, yeah, girl, can't wait to see you there. We're going to learn so much. I'm not paying back and forth for me and Josie to go back and forth and shoot the shit. Right. Also, I curse like a sailor. I apologize. And then the last thing is, you've already heard this today, wheelofnames.com. Wheelofnames.com is totally free. Great for any sort of raffling that you're doing, whether it be for your team, your VIP group, your clients, the party that you're at, the door prize from the Google Forms that I told you that I forget to do 99% of the time anyways. And there you go. All right. All right, Danielle. I hope I didn't cut into your time.
No way, you did perfect. So actually, just first, Carrie, all those websites that you use, I use all of those things too. Like all of those things,
right? Like it's
the best 100%. Absolutely, you should be using them. They're awesome. Second, when I first was asked to do this, I was totally like, me? Like, no. So like, I want to give you ladies permission to be that girl who is in business and consistently in business. My friend said to me, I said, I'm not a successful pure romance consultant. And she said, okay, so change the word successful to consistent. Do you feel like you're consistent? And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm consistent. So it took me a second to be like, okay, I can do this. That's true. So like my numbers might not be as big as everybody else's, but I've been in business for 7 years and I've consistently grown every single year. And that's something to be proud of. So some of you ladies who have smaller numbers need to remember it's okay to keep building every single year. Like you don't have to have like the big numbers right out of the gate. It's okay to just be consistent and be yourself. Sorry, my thing is being weird. There we go. All right, so Carrie talked about a to-do list. My favorite thing is to have a rolling to-do list. Once a week, once every 2 weeks, sometimes even once a month, I will literally sit down and do what I call a brain dump, because I am the most unorganized, organized chaos person in the world. Like we talked about how you're everybody's everything. So mom, sister, aunt, granddaughter, like I'm taking people to doctor's appointments. I'm taking people to this. I'm doing my kids. Like mental health is a huge thing right now. COVID is everywhere. Like everything is crazy and you're doing everything for everyone because you don't work. You're a stay-at-home mom. So what else do you have to do besides take care of everybody else in your family, right? No, you have other things to do. So just remember that it's okay to tell people no, for starters. But I do a brain dump at least once a month. And what I do literally is take a piece of paper, I thought I had one here, and I write down all the things that I want to do for my business in that amount of time. The good ideas I have, the things that need to get done tomorrow, the things that need to get next week, whenever it needs to happen. Like I will dump it all onto a piece of paper and it helps me sleep at night. And then the next morning when I have my 15 minutes or my 10 minutes or my 20-minute pieces, like Carrie talked about, I will look at it and say, okay, so what do I need to do today? Like, what is the most important part of this list right now? And I'll pull like 5 things off that list and be like, this is what I want to get done today. Whether I do it in my 15 minutes, in my power hour, whenever I've set aside to work, whether I'm in the doctor's office or behind the car waiting in the line to pick up the kids at school, those are the things that I'm going to do in that period of time. Are those things going to change importance? Yep. I might be like, crap, I don't really need to do that today. I'm going to do that Thursday. Oops, but I need to do this today because this just happened. And things are going to move around. Utilize the notes in your phone. I constantly have things in my phone written down. Like my notes section of my phone is new ideas for like things to do in my VIP group, because planning is so important and I'm a horrible planner. But it's important to plan money-making things going on in your VIP group, because even if you can't be present because you're busy doing other mom things, your VIP group keeps you in front of people and present. So you always want to make sure that you've got those things scheduled and ready to go. So new ideas, keeping things fresh, that kind of stuff. You want to make sure that's going on. So those are happening in my notes. If I need to ship things, those are happening in my notes. Back orders, those are happening in my notes. Like my notes are my lifeline. They're going to keep me going. So we have the rolling to-do list. We talked about that. The phone notes, we talked about that. I think it's most important, like Carrie said, done is better than perfect, because done is better than perfect. My other favorite one is commit to the process, but detach from the outcome. So if you're doing all the things, it doesn't matter what happens because you're doing all the things. Eventually, it's going to happen. Eventually, it's going to fall into place. Just keep doing all the things. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep going because you cannot fail unless you stop. When you stop, when you quit, when you give up, that's when you fail. So don't do that. So just don't stop. Just keep going. If you're having problems, find your tribe. So I think that this is probably my most important thing, is to find the girls who get you, to find the girls who keep you going. You know your why, or you should know your why. If you don't know your why, figure out your why. Figure out why you're doing what you're doing. For me, for the longest time, I thought it was like a position of prestige. I thought I was like, this is what I need to do. You know, like I want to be on board of directors, or I want to be on President's Club, and I couldn't, and I was very frustrated because I wasn't hitting it. I wasn't hitting it. That's not my why. My why was to be able to be at my kids' functions, but still make enough money so I didn't have to work or answer to a boss. So I do that now. And so that means every month I've got my goals, which actually I want to show you guys this because I feel like these are important. These are just the trackers right offline. Every year I do trackers and I put them in my office by my computer, because every time I get $1,000 in sales, I mark it off. Every time I sign somebody, I mark it off. And it feels really cool to get my markers off and mark them off. It's like a little bit of like, hurrah for me. And every year I do it for President's Club and Board of Directors, because those are my big goals. Those are my big, scary, what do they call them? Big, scary goals. But my actual goal is to make sure that I'm providing for my family while still, you know, not having to have a boss. So that means that every month I'm looking at my reports and making sure I know how close I am to my minimums so that I can get my override checks. Because if I'm not getting my override every month, then I'm definitely not growing my business. So I'm always constantly making sure that I am pushing and looking and watching. What I check off is the board of directors tracker and the President's Club tracker. They're printed right online. I gotta stop reading things. Big, hairy, audacious goals. That's exactly right. And Carrie said it too, and it's absolutely true. Do not expect every day to look the same. Like, I know some people are like, plan your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to look like Monday, I'm going to mail things. Tuesday, I'm going to reach out to consultants or reach out to my team. Wednesdays, I'm going to reach out to my hostesses. I can't work like that. Like, I can't be like, today I'm going to do this. I have to wake up and be like, what's the day bringing today? That's how hot mess I am. And it's okay. As long as you're doing something to push your business forward every single day, do that. Like, nothing needs to look the same. Nothing needs to be in a pretty picture with a pretty bow. It literally can be organized chaos, because I live organized chaos every single day. Trying to remember, because Carrie went over a lot of the things that I want to talk about, which was perfect, because that means that we're literally doing the same things. Find your tribe. So that the important part about finding your tribe and finding your girls, find girls in your pure romance team, find girls on a different pure romance team, but find girls who have pure romance in common and have similar goals to you, but different strengths. So my strength is ideas and excitement and keeping things interesting. Whereas I have other friends who are really good at verbiage, and they're really good at keeping me on point and keeping me going forward, because it's really hard to keep yourself motivated. Motivation doesn't start when you like start to do well. Motivation starts when you start to work, period. Like, literally, if you sit down at your desk, no matter how unmotivated you are, if you sit down and start to do anything, your day is going to go. And as a mom who has everybody depending on them, the last thing you want to do at the end of the day is sit down and have to do that. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, I'm exhausted. I don't want to do this. I've got this and this and this. Just do it. Just make yourself do it. And if you've got these things hanging near you, it'll remind you. You'll be like, oh yeah, I had $1,000 in sales. I'm going to mark that off. Maybe you're not marking every $1,000 in sales. Maybe you're marking every $100 in sales. Do you know what I mean? So mark every $100 in sales. Whatever your goals are the important thing. Like, you are the important thing. Let's see. Oh, I talked about the VIP group. That's going to keep you present, keep you in front of your clients, so that when you are doing the things with your family and when you aren't necessarily present and you aren't necessarily available because you're doing other things, that VIP group is there to remind them that you're in business and that you're doing things and that kind of stuff. So make sure that you've always got some sort of a plan in there. But the most important part of your VIP group is to be consistent and be fun. Like, I don't care if you're going live once a month. I don't care. Like, Maybe you don't do lives. That's fine. But you need to find a way to come across and be real, be you, and be fun in your VIP group, because it's you that your clients are doing business with, and it's you they want to have fun with. And if you aren't being you, it's not going to seem genuine. And you need to be genuine if you're going to be a hot mess, I guess is what I'm saying. You need to be genuine in order to make the connections that you want to make and not have to do as much work to keep them. What else? Find your girls, find your tribe. I think that that's pretty much it. Make sure you know your goals, make sure you know what you want, and just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I think that's all that I have.
All right. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you, Heather.
Okay, girls. So that was a big day. Yeah. That was a big day. Let me stop the recording real fast.